Hey, it's me, MLB. This is chapter 56 of Touched, and the title is Burnt Nugget times 2. Elsewhere that morning, the two IC approached the jail that your father had been sent to and insisted on seeing the head warden. "I'm here to see the father," the two IC said firmly to the warden. "I'm afraid he's in confinement and not allowed to be seen by anyone," the warden replied. "But I'm the second in charge to the Public Safety Commission. My rank..." "Your rank means nothing when a man has been charged for criminal offences and his case is being personally overseen by a high-ranking hero," the warden said dryly. "Hero?" the two IC said with angry knitted brows. "Which hero?" "The winged hero, Hawks," the warden replied. "God damn that bird," the two IC growled internally. "He's thought of everything to stop my plan going ahead." "What was he jailed for exactly?" the two IC snapped at the warden. "Various offences, but basically emotional manipulation for the detriment of another's well-being," the warden replied. "Based on what evidence?" the two IC snapped. "Psychological reports and witnesses," the warden replied bluntly. "It was a solid case." "Psychological reports from?" the two IC pressed. "The wife of the man," the warden replied, slightly irked that the two IC wasn't taking no for an answer. "Where's his wife at?" the two IC asked. "Now on a quest to get your mum." "The mental health respite in town, I think," the warden replied. "Why though? She won't help you see her husband," he said, confused. He still thought the two IC wanted to get in to speak with your dad. "Thanks," the two IC said gruffly as he spun on his heels and left, intending to head to the health respite to see where your mum was. Hawks landed at the door of the League hideout and knocked. He heard movements inside, then someone came to the door and opened it. "Hello, go away," the person said. "Hey there," Hawks greeted with a friendly smile, hands pushed into his pockets. "What can I do for you?" "Leave," the person said. So, which is it?" Hawks asked with a laugh. "You're answering your own questions there." "Oh, sorry, it's part of my quirk. I'm an idiot," the person replied. "What's your name?" Hawks asked with a smile. "Twice," what he said. Twice replied. "Nice to meet you, and yourself, Twice. I have some information that will be beneficial for your league," Hawks said with a sly smirk on his face. "Who do I talk to?" "What's your name? Identify yourself," Twice said suspiciously. "Hawks," the winged hero replied. Suddenly another person appeared beside Twice. Hawks's gaze shifted from Twice to the newcomer, and he paused as his keen golden eyes met steely blue turquoise ones. "What you doing here, hero?" the second person asked in a haunty voice as he leaned an arm casually against the doorframe. "Here to give some helpful information," Hawks repeated, squaring up with this new villain that had just arrived. The villain that had stepped up beside Twice was littered with purple scarring across his jaw and under his eyes. Where the scars met healthy skin were silver hooped staples that held everything together. He had intense turquoise eyes and raven black hair, and a personality that said, "Mess with me and it will be your funeral," while still maintaining a cool, aloof demeanour. "Why would you give us information?" the new villain asked as he tilted his head to the side, his intense eyes boring into Hawks. "Because this information helps me as well, if you decide to follow through," Hawks said tantalisingly, baiting Staple Man with his words. "Ah," Staple Victim replied with a smirk. "So it's not for free then," he said smugly. "Before we go any further with this discussion, I think it's fair I ask your name and ask if I can at least come in," Hawks said as he gestured to the fact that he was still standing at the door. The raven-haired villain remained silent for a bit before speaking. "I go by Darby," he replied bluntly, stepping back and pulling Twice with him to allow Hawks to enter. "Where's the rest of the team?" Hawks asked casually as he entered and looked around the empty room. It was just him, Twice, and Darby. "Out killing people," Darby replied sarcastically. "Why should we tell you where they are?" Hawks shrugged. "Doesn't matter, I guess. I'm just here to tell you what I know." "What's this in regards to?" Darby asked as he jumped up onto a nearby crate and turned to face Hawks, looming over him with his arms crossed. "One of your league members was contacted by the second in charge of the Public Safety Commission. He claimed he was going to leak information to you through an agent of his. Truth is, that agent was going to be a spy," Hawks said matter-of-factly as he looked up to Darby. Darby just looked at him, no emotion showing on his face. "Any reason you're on a crate, Darby?" Hawks asked when Darby didn't reply his comment. "Asserting dominance," Darby replied dryly. "Is that so?" Hawks replied as he flicked his wings and lifted off the ground to the same height as Darby. Darby smirked and uncrossed his arms, shoving them into his pockets. "Smart ass," he said as he sighed heavily. Yeah, it was me that was contacted. Why are you telling us this? Yeah, why? Are you demented? Twice asked from the ground, staring up at the two who were eyeing each other off. Because, Hawk said smugly, if the second in charge were to be killed, it would greatly advance my own plans, he said truthfully. And you want us to kill him, Darby replied bluntly, catching on instantly. Well, it's a natural progression, isn't it? Hawk said smugly as he took one hand from his pocket and rubbed his chin. You find out someone's going to double-cross you, so you kill him. For most villains, yes, but who says I'm like other villains, Darby replied. You don't know my past. So you plan to keep the second in charge alive then and let him send a spy in? Hawks asked sarcastically. Talented villains you are, go straight to the top of villain school, he added, clapping slowly. Darby narrowed his eyes. Why do you need the second in charge gone? He asked bluntly. I told you it would help with my own plans, Hawks replied with a shrug, refusing to give too much away. All right, Darby replied in an expressionless voice. Thank you for the information. You can go now. You're welcome, Hawk said brightly. I'll see myself out. And with that, he floated to the door and touched down as he reached for the handle. Pleasure doing business with you, he called over his shoulder as he shot them a wink and a peace sign, then left. What on earth? Excuse me, but what the hell was that about? Hawks asked, confused as all heck. He's shifty, Darby replied, jumping down from the crate. I don't trust him, and I never have. Twice looked at Darby. Do you know him? Were you lovers? The Deadpool knockoff asked. The less you know about me, the better off you'll be, Darby replied dryly. Okay, so you were a rapper in your past life and your name was McCrispy? Twice replied. I like you because your second personality speaks your thoughts, Darby replied in his calm, husky voice. My favourite was when you called Shigaraki Decay Nene. It's true though, it's no lie, Twice replied with a shrug, as they left to go back to the others. Best I find out what Hawks's plan is first before I kill the second in charge, then I'll decide what to do from there. Guess it's time to ruffle the feathers of a government official and interrogate him. What a turn of events, Darby thought as he and Twice went back to the main hideout. And there ends chapter 56. Stay tuned for chapter 57.